There's another good topic I want to touch is the jams. Um, well, first thing I guess I have to say is um, darts, they are not the best ammo that you can work with, if we can call them mammals. They're soft by nature, and any Australian player and probably Singapore player will understand that these things will expand and become heavy when it's hot and moist. So my advice is if you're using an AEB system or even in the future, stick to the brand new darts. There seems to be a lot of things to ask um, from a person who sell these toys, but I think that's the best thing to do. For what I understand, um, a lot of good players will stick to the new darts. We certainly got a few good ones down in Adelaide as well. Um, They'll give them really nice accuracy, and most importantly, it won't cost as much as the older darts, gem wise. The other thing is when you do have a gem, there's a few things to work out, and I will take you through everything here so you have a better workflow to solve when you have a jam. And don't get me wrong, you definitely can improve it, but it will jam eventually. So I'll take you through a few things there. But firstly, we'll start with the magazine. Um, I have two examples here, which is I put together. So these are two of my mags. They all double springed, but you can tell this one I step onto the one of the springs just to make it look really weird. And if you look at how this whole follower goes back, it's still fairly snappy. I would say it's perfect for a manual springer, but it's actually not fast for storm anymore. I had jams with those, but I haven't had any problem with this one, which is just a two spring fits perfectly and they're fairly new. So first thing to look into is the fitting. I've heard Unicorn Max works pretty well, but generally speaking, 15 and 18 workers does need dual springs. I have them on sale here as well. The other thing to look into is basically into your blaster. So we're done with the mag, and this is where darts goes in, right? First, what we're looking into is firstly the dart gate. So make sure this is smooth. I normally spray a bit of lubrication, whatever you use. Sometimes I wipe a bit of Inox MX6. Otherwise, I'll use a spray form, which is MX3, or simply some super lube or some form of lubrication that you might need. What definitely needs some lubrication is on the O-rings. We're a very dry country, and O-rings definitely need a lot of lubrication, just constantly. Not a lot of amount, but frequency. So give it a bit lube before you start the game of the day. So your dart gate and your pusher O-ring, that's the two critical points. Another one is your barrel. So the barrel we're supplying, this is actually made for the Gen 3 darts, which is quite obsolete in Adelaide. Just to make sure we understand all the darts, this is actually called Gen 2. It's called Gen 2 on the packaging, but a lot of retailers actually call them Gen 3, which is creating a lot of confusion. But these darts we use quite a lot. That's Gen 2. Gen 3 is actually slightly tinier with purple body. That's the ones that came with all the worker blasters that give you 10 pieces. So those Gen 3 darts fits in this perfectly. But for us Gen 2s, especially on the hot weather, I actually don't suggest you use original barrels. These are really good with Gen 3 or in a cooler day. But in the hotter days, I actually recommend something with a really a 13 mil barrel. These actually 12.9. 1 mil can make a lot of difference, especially when you encounter a lot of jams. The other thing is don't push it all the way in there. So when you insert the barrels all the way, pull out 1 mil and put your grub screws in there. So 1 centimeter, that is. And the other thing to look into is barrels. They can be dirty, especially if you use it for a lot of old darts. So double check your barrel to make sure they smooth and inside. And this one's a brand new barrel. You can tell there's literally nothing in there. But you'll be amazed how dirty some people's barrel can be. Hopefully, that sort of gives you an idea of where the jams can be. And from what I understand, most of the scenario it can be either solved by using more new darts, sort out your mag, and also lubrication. These are the 3 keys to me. If in a hotter day like what we're doing now, end of February, March, we're looking at a wider barrel, which is your worker. Your sabers tends to be wider internally as well, so 13 mil barrels, we have some for sale. Hopefully this will cover your journey. And don't get me wrong, I've seen people have a lot of problems and frustrations with the storm. That is absolutely normal. It is a system that requires experiences and patience. And some of the top players in there definitely nails their storm performance, and they're very confident with their blaster. So it's a learning journey to me, and that's why I'm thinking maybe doing this video better help you understand how system works. And if you encounter any problems, you're more than welcome to share your knowledge, your problems. We got a Facebook group by one of our players, Jason, and we have a lot of experts within the group that can help you with the problems. And you're welcome to leave your questions and problems underneath this video so I can help you out. But yeah, this is Jay from Formula Adelaide. Hopefully, we'll see you next time.